We can't have you and your types in this country if you're going to assault a federal agent like Freddy the Beagle while he's doing his job making America great again. Welcome back to the show. Be sure to subscribe. Let's get right to it. First topic. So Trump has announced that his tariffs have brought in an astounding $88 billion in revenue already. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
With the United States of America, we'd have money coming in like at levels that they have never seen. I got a call the other day from the people in Congress because we're doing our bill. I didn't even tell you this, Mike, and they called. They said, there's something wrong with the numbers, sir. I said, what's wrong? I don't know. They're not balancing out. There's something really wrong. I said, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, we don't know. I said, what's the problem? We're taking in much more money than we have scheduled. I said, so far, that sounds good. They said, how much is it? About $80 billion. I said, do me a favor, check the tariff line. They called me back an hour later. Sir, we've taken in $88 billion in tariffs. Isn't that a beautiful thing? $88 billion.
Yeah, so many people were panicking when Trump put the tariffs in place. You know, it just shows how many people just can't handle a little bit of adversity. And whenever it looks like it's going to get a little rough, they just panic and they just want out. You know, it's like, dude, you gotta stay the course, right? And you gotta trust the process. And just let Trump cook. The guy's been talking about tariffs for the last 40 years and how that's a tool to get America back on the right track. And when he finally implements what he's been talking about for the last 40 years, people just start panicking and they can't handle it. And now look, what is it, like 2 months later after the tariffs were put into place, the guy's already raking in $88 billion in revenue, and you know, America is just skyrocketing right now in pretty much every facet. The stock market's hitting new highs. It's like there was that one little dip when he put the tariffs in place and everybody lost their mind, and you know, they just kind of turned against the guy and they just didn't trust the process, and look what happened. It made them just look like morons. It made them look weak-minded, and now they gotta, you know, they gotta eat crow and just be like, yeah, I was wrong. But they won't say that. The people hate to say they're wrong, but if you were like me, where you just trusted the process, you trusted the man, and you stayed the course, and you believed in the guy, and you let the guy cook, you're looking great today. You're looking great. You're going to be looking great for the next 4 years, unlike the people who showed that they can't handle it mentally if a little bit of adversity hits them. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. So an MSNBC host tried to claim that if we don't have illegals, there will be nobody for the farms and there will be nobody to clear your plate at restaurants. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
Paul, you first. I mean, because Molly mentions those people that are the farm workers, certainly of the ag industry that's being affected. You've got hospitality industry. Going to a restaurant even. I mean, you may not have people being able to clear your place, move so quickly, the food being served. Yeah. The people aren't going to like that.
Once again, somebody's spouting off using the only reason they ever come up with to keep illegals is they need their farm work and they need, you know, people to clear your tables. They basically just want their slave labor, right? So whenever they make this point of, what about the people who, you know, pick the crops and work in your restaurants and clear your place. It's just the slave labor angle, right? That's all it is. It's not like a real reason to keep illegals, right? Unless you actually want slaves, which I don't think they do. Maybe they do. I mean, it kind of seems like they do. But just give me one good actual reason, like a legitimate real reason why illegals benefit America. You can't. And you haven't heard somebody actually give one, you know, like especially nobody in the mainstream media who's trying to like fight for this type of thing. It's just like the only time they ever bring up why the illegals benefit America, it's just in the slave labor realms, like, you know, the picking the crops and, you know, clearing your table. It's never like, oh, they just completely enrich the community and they're making just huge innovations in tech and everything. It's the crops and clearing your plate. And if somebody could at least give me one good reason, and don't give me the whole they pay their taxes, blah, 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 or they're a pillar in the community. No, those are all BS terms. It doesn't matter if they're paying the taxes. We don't need them here in the first place to pay the taxes. You know what I'm saying? Whether we're getting their tax dollars because they're here or we're not getting tax dollars because they're not here, as long as they're not sucking off the system, yeah, we don't need them here. That's it. Plain and simple. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. So Nestle has announced that they will remove all dyes, artificial dyes, from their food by 2026. Roll the clip.
And this morning, Nestle is following suit and will eliminate synthetic food dyes from its products here in the U.S. The company says it plans to remove the dyes by next year, following big brands like Kraft Heinz and General Mills, who will announce that it will be eliminating dyes as well. Nestle says less than 10% of its U.S. food and beverage portfolio currently contain these synthetic colors. Artificial ingredients have been under scrutiny, especially from Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the Department of Health and Human Services.
Yeah, so this is a huge win. Nestle is a gigantic company. I mean, you can see on those pictures just everything that it oversees, all the companies it owns. And why do Americans need stupid artificial dyes in their foods? Are Americans really that dumb where they have to have their food look bright and colorful to eat it? You know, it's like, dude, if it's basically killing you because it looks cool and, oh, your Fruit Loops, they look, you know, real colorful and great. It's like, listen, I will take food that doesn't look as colorful and bright, just if it's going to be healthy for me and I don't got to like worry about cancer in the next 5 years or so because I'm sucking down so much food that they just blast with these artificial dyes. And good on RFK Jr. The guy's getting in there and doing work. You know, the guy's cooking. The guy's totally cooking. But yeah, I mean, as somebody myself who sucked down more artificial dyes probably than anybody, I mean, God, I used to eat a ton of red vines and that, God, I mean, I don't know how many different red dyes are in those, but yeah. I mean, if I haven't gotten cancer yet from artificial dyes, then I think I'm pretty good and I don't have to worry about that, especially now that they're starting to be removed. But yeah, I mean, if I would have known how bad these artificial dyes were for you in the past, I don't think I would have been sucking down the red vines, you know, but it's, I guess, Americans, we just were never privy to it, you know? Nobody told us how terrible it. I'm sure some people tried, but nobody did anything about it. And it's all goes to the pharmaceutical industrial complex where if more people are sick, then they can put more people on, you know, prescription drugs and the pharmaceutical companies can make more money. Hopefully this type of thing where we're removing dyes and we're getting rid of just insanely unhealthy BS also gets us away from the pharmaceutical industrial complex. I mean, that's the real goal here. You know, we're making America healthy again, and hopefully we're getting Americans off prescription drugs too. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. An Egyptian man has been deported back to his country for assaulting Freddy the Beagle during a customs check. I mean, first of all, who does that, right? You know, the Beagle's just checking, sniffing around, making sure nobody's bringing anything weird into the country. I mean, unless you have some sort of illicit material you're bringing into the country, why would you need to kick Freddy the Beagle, right? It just shows what these people are like. They don't care about it. Obviously, Freddy wasn't doing anything crazy. He wasn't being a nuisance. These dogs, they're very well behaved. If you're a government agent dog, you're not going to be barking up a storm unless, you know, somebody's got something illegal on them. But yeah, see, now these stories need to come out like this. They need to be spread around and shared, because if there's going to be anything that makes the Democrats turn against the illegals, it's the fact that they're assaulting their fur babies, right? You know, the Democrats love their fur babies. Everybody loves their fur babies. You know, that's a nonpartisan take, you know, loving your fur babies, right? But still, it's just like, these people, they don't care about anything that Americans care about, right? It's not like they hate dogs, they hate animals. They basically just hate everything that America stands for, you know? So if the dog, Freddy the Beagle's checking, you know, people making America great again, you know, Freddy's out there making America great. And this guy's trying to destroy Freddy and, you know, everything he stands for. Want to kick the dog? Come on, dude. And Democrats need to realize this. Like, they just need to realize that these people do not care whatsoever. The dog is a federal agent, right? And the guy kicked a federal agent. And the funny thing is, so many people respond to animals more than they do humans. You know, like, if somebody, you know, abuses a human, people don't really care as much as somebody who abuses a dog. You know, most people will react more accordingly if a dog is getting abused than like a human, right? It's pretty wild, but that's just the way most people are, you know. For some reason, they don't have as much compassion for other humans as they do a dog that can't really defend itself, which, you know, I mean, to each their own, to each their own. But yeah, this guy, if you're going to be going and kicking Freddy the Beagle while he's working, you're going to be deported from the country. And that's just plain and simple. We can't have you and your types in this country if you're going to assault a federal agent like Freddy the Beagle while he's doing his job making America great again. But all right, that's it for today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you.